What is up, music fans of YouTube? It's Dustin back with the listening room for an album review. Man, it feels like forever since we've done one of these things. It has been forever. But my it's just a mixed bag, man. It's what it is. It's clips of shows I go to and reviews and covers and whatever. But a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, man, you should really get back into reviewing albums on your channel." And what better time to get back into it than with one of the most anticipated releases of the year? Take a little pause here real quick. The 11th studio album from metal veterans, metal legends, you know who it is. It's 72 Seasons by Metallica, released last Friday, April 14th on the band's own Blackened Records. Produced by Greg Fiedelman. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but he worked with the band on 2016's Hardwired to Self-Destruct album. Of course, in between there, Metallica released another symphony record, S&M 2. They did an anniversary for the Black album, including the Blackened Project, which featured artists from all across the board doing covers of songs from the Black album. But now here it is, it's 2023, and we finally get a new official studio album from Metallica. So what does this thing sound like? Well, if you're expecting the Metallica of old, and I know there's still that crowd out there who expects guys who are 60 years old to do things that they did when they were 21. That's not what this record is at all. This record really focuses a lot on groove. That is the biggest thing with this album. There is tons and tons of groove on this record. I would say this record is probably a good 70% load mixed with about maybe 30% of the old thrashy stuff. Again, tons and tons of focus on the groove. It's a long fucking record, man. It's over 77 minutes long. And the length does not always work to the advantage of a lot of these songs. 72 Seasons kicks the album off, 7.5 minutes for that song. Again, groove, thrashy, really cool pre-chorus, and some great chugging from James Hetfield. James Hetfield sounds fucking phenomenal on this record. There's been a couple Metallica records as of late where I don't know, I don't think it was the Hetfield that we know and love, but on here, man, god damn, he sounds great. He sounds fantastic on this record. Vocals fantastic. Guitar playing. Shadows Follow, another shining example of Hetfield just sounding fucking ferocious. Slows down a little bit from the opening title track, but still a big emphasis on groove. Definitely getting that kind of load, bluesy kind of feel mixed in with some thrash. Robert Trujillo really, prominent on this album, and some cool bass work from him around the 3-minute mark. And one of my favorite tracks on the record, Shadows Follow. Screaming Suicide next, very load-like track, clocks in at about 5.5 minutes. Track doesn't really go anywhere, and that is the issue with a lot of the songs on this record. There's a lot of groove, they're heavy, but they just kind of plod along in a lot of cases, and there's no real, I have no problem with long albums and long songs, obviously, but it has to have that dynamic, man, and a lot of these songs just really lack that, and they really just kind of coast on these kind of basic riffs, very repetitive riffs, but again, with tons of groove. Lars really sounding extra basic on this song, Screaming Suicide. Sleepwalk My Life Away is another song I feel kind of suffers from this same thing. You get a minute-long intro that just morphs into the same riff, and it's just tons of groove. Kirk Hammett actually uses a wah pedal on this song. Pretty insane. The instrumental section kind of gives you some hope, but then it just leads back into the same groove, the same chorus. You Must Burn, cool song. I foresee it being on some Halloween playlists. Some cool backing vocals from Robert on this one. And just some cool, lyrics related to like witch trials and things of that nature. Lux Eterna, which was the first teaser track off of here that we got. This song does not suffer from that. It comes in and out. It's under 3.5 minutes. America's beer. Strong Kill 'Em All vibes on Lux Eterna. I really like this song, and I think it's one of the best on the album for the simple reason that it just comes in, gives you the punch, and then it gets the fuck out. It doesn't waste any time. Crown of Barbed Wire. Hatfield sounding great on this one again, but again, another kind of repetitive, kind of basic, and overall pretty boring. A couple of these songs on this record, man, it really feels like you're just listening to a band jam and not really a finished product from a band that's been in the game for as long as Metallica has. Chasing Light has a really good thrashy groove to it. Hatfield sounding fantastic on this, especially with the Lean on Me. Awesome. Hatfield just shining all over this thing. If Darkness Had a Sun, one of my other favorite tracks on the album, kind of does this military intro that kind of goes into this almost like Slayer sounding riff. Some really cool floor tom work on the verses with Lars. The solo, awkward transition. There's a couple awkward transitions in this song, but I think that kind of gives it some character, and it's really cool. I love this one. I love the way James sings, "I bathe in holy water." Too Far Gone. We see some of that new wave of British heavy metal influence that we know Metallica knows and loves. Some dual lead guitars on this song. One of the shorter tracks, around 4.5 minutes. And the same case with In a Mirrored Room. Some dueling guitars. Kind of a repetitive lick on the guitars, though. And this song is really interesting because Kirk Hammett actually uses a wah pedal on this song. It's really crazy. And then the album ends with the 11-minute plus Inamorata. This song definitely has some dynamic to it. Almost Black Sabbath-y in the beginning with the kind of churning, the riff, almost like this dirge-like riff. Has this cool middle section with the bass, almost kind of reminds me of the Rime of the Ancient Mariner a little bit by Maiden. And then after that section, the dual guitar leads really take off. And it's one of the cooler tracks on the album. And that wraps it up. 77 minutes of Metallica. Is it great? No. Is it good? Yes. Will it make them any new fans? Probably not. Sorry, I'm checking my time here. Time's running out. So that's Metallica. If you're new to the channel, hit like, hit subscribe, go have a Bud Light, and if you're with Kid Rock and all those fucking dumbasses, get the fuck off my channel right now. Have a good day.